That's right. Anne Mahlum has created enormous success in the fitness world, a space that is often dominated by men. She founded the boutique fitness company Solidcore in 2013 and has since raised more than $70 million in private equity for the brand. I mean, we got to snap for that. Holy smokes. Before Solidcore, Anne started her first business venture when she was the ripe old age of 27. It's called Back on My Feet. It's a nonprofit that gives a sense of community to people experiencing homelessness through running. And we are so lucky, Star.
Yeah.
Because here she is.
Yeah.
Joining us live. Anne joins us this morning.
Hi.
Thanks so much for braving the cold and coming into the studio.
Oh, you know I'm from North Dakota, so this is nothing.
Well, I was hoping you would
Right.
say that because you were
Yeah.
saying it's like 50 below.
Yeah, with the wind chill, it's 50. It's no one should live there.
No.
She's like, what? Nothing.
Yeah, yeah,
New York
yeah.
cold. I got this.
Yeah. So I wonder if we can start with your success comes from something within you. Share that with us, please, so you can rub off on us.
Well, I think you guys are doing just fine. But I think the reason anybody does anything is emotion, right? We're all chasing this emotion, and from an early age, I sort of felt like I was meant to do something big. I just didn't know what it was, and I think at some point everybody asks what our purpose is, what we're here for. And so when I started Back on My Feet at 27, my dad is an addict, and I never could figure out a way to help him. And running was my salvation to get me through that time in my life. So I was running by this homeless shelter, saw these guys, waved at them, and this idea was like, I'm just going to start a running club for them. And long story short, I started this program, ran with them for a few weeks, and began to see that this was going to be so much more than just running, that this could actually be the impetus to create real self-sufficiency in their life.
We should say that our very own Mr. G profiled a homeless man here in New York City who ascribed to this, a part of your nonprofit, and was a success story. We tried to book him, but we couldn't find him.
He's a busy guy now.
He's a busy guy now. He's busy running. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it works. You know, you think about why people change, and if you don't feel like you're capable or you don't feel good about yourself, it's difficult to make change. So what we did with Back on My Feet is put them in an environment to feel good, to change their identity of themselves from someone who sees themselves as homeless into someone who sees themselves as a runner, a teammate, an athlete, reliable, dependable, ambitious, and then we were able to place them in a job after we got their mind right.
It's so great.
It is. I've done a little bit of stalking. I have seen everything that you were doing, and I'm just like,
you need a hobby.
Clearly, I need a hobby. So much success into everything that you have going on and everything that you've done. I want to know, how are we pitching a business to investors?
Yeah, so people invest in a business based off of who the founder is, right? And I think a lot of that comes of, do you know what you're doing, and are you passionate, and are you in it for the long haul? And I think that you really got to be sure if you're going to open a business, and I think that's why a lot of them fail, is when it gets hard, it's just easier to walk away. So there needs to be a real motivating factor of why you're doing this. So Solidcore for me, I've worked out my entire life, had my fair share of eating disorders, body dysmorphia, you name it, right? Like the majority of women out there. And when I discovered Pilates and what it did for my body, and then adding the community in, I was like, people need to know about this, and I want to build a brand around it. So I was very excited and just wanted as many people, particularly women, to know that they can work out this way and it can change your body and your confidence. So they sort of knew that I was all in on this idea, and of course the business economics and making sure I'm doing a good job on the financials.
Well, I also think, just based on the few minutes that we're talking to you, when you're in the room, because we have a lot of viewers who are entrepreneurs, they do that pivot. They decide, oh, I'm a mom, now I want to open up a bakery. And it's so important, I think, when you get in the room, especially as a woman, that you present in a way that the people with the millions of dollars are looking at you and saying what? They should be saying,
well, I think you need to realize that the investors are looking at you to make money, and people get upset over private equity for that. Like, that's their job, is to return capital at a decent level, right? They want to, if you want to make 2 to 3 times their money, and you need to show them how they can do that if you're looking to take private equity into your business. And so not getting upset about that, just knowing that and communicating a clear message for growth on how you're going to do that. So yes, exuding confidence and having the answers and making sure that you're presenting yourself in a way that this ship is going to sail. When you go in and you have any self-doubt, or you're even, there's a benefit of being self-deprecating, to be sort of funny and to be relatable.
Sure, but there's a line.
There's a line. There's a line, and people want to give their money to people who they know is going to keep the ship going and make sure it's not going to sink.
I'm sorry, I'm fascinated.
No, go ahead.
How does being an athlete figure into that? Because any little success I've ever had in my life, I attribute to the fact that my sister was my first coach.
Oh, great.
And I was a gymnast, and I fell off the beam, and she said, get back up.
Right.
I fell off, and she said, get back up. And I always go back to that moment in my life whenever I've had trials and tribulations. And I wonder what it's like for you.
Yeah, I love sports. I love games. I'm super competitive about anything and played basketball and soccer, and now I play a ton of beach volleyball. So I think you play volleyball as well?
Yes.
Well, we're going to have to play. I'm going to
No,
beach
you're going to be
volleyball.
you're better than me.
I'm going to beach volleyball camp next week.
Can you take us? Can we?
Yeah.
Do you need someone to hold your bags?
I mean, no, you can play though.
Okay, fine.
You got
I'm going to do some learning.
So yeah, I mean, I think sports just teaches you a lot, right? It teaches you how to be graceful. It teaches you how to figure out things on the fly, to be resourceful, and that's a big part of being an entrepreneur. And I think that's what stops people, Mari and Star, is they think, I don't know everything. I promise you that anybody who is an entrepreneur does not have it all figured out. You just have to trust yourself enough that you are going to figure it out.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Anne, for joining us
Real
this morning.
quick before we go, tell us about Ambition. That is
Yes.
the next mountain you have climbed.
Yes, thank you. So Ambition opens in New York. It is, I wanted to keep everything that's so great about boutique fitness, which is community, but like me and a lot of my friends, we're running around to all these different concepts, and Ambition's putting 4 concepts in one place. It's a strength class, a athletic conditioning class, a hot inspired yoga athlete class, as well as a deep recovery stretch class. So you'll get all of that in one place under one membership. We're opening in Brooklyn and then 2 in Manhattan in March and April of next year.
Sign us up, please.
Yes, I have no
love
excuse.
To have you.
No excuse.
No excuse now.
Congratulations
Thank you so
on
much.
everything you've accomplished.
Thank you. I appreciate
Really, truly.
that.
Come back,
Nice
please.
to see you.